particular problem. And so this is something that will probably be broached. It's broached every year, I think, really. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm just bringing that as a public comment that I received verbally. Okay. Any other comments before we get to the agenda? Okay. Concerning the agenda, I'm sure you all have taken a look at it. Is this meet your approval? So I need a motion to that effect.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, a second. Second. Okay, Peter, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, like sign. All right. Conflict of interest. Does any committee member have a conflict of interest concerning any items on this agenda? Being heard. Approval of the minutes from June the 19th.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
Second. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right. TI coastal update. We have no Chris or Jamie here. But a couple of things offhand. They did complete their surveys for both the ocean side and the sound side. The sound side surveys have been posted on the town's website, which is really particularly important because of the way the inlet has shifted. And word needs to get out to some of our local voters that, yeah, that inlet has shifted over a little bit to the right as you're going out before you make a hard left going out. I came in with Lewis the other day and Lewis Cox, and actually all the markings that we saw were dead on. Pretty good. You swing a little bit wider. And then also in that regard, Joe reported that saw the Coast Guard out there putting channel markers. Yeah. And so that's another positive there. So we were missing the green in front of the assembly building, and the green at the end of Richards and maybe some others. I called the Coast Guard just at a whim. And the guy answered the phone in Wilmington. He was very nice. He said, I'll forward the information. So I don't know if I had an impact or whether it was Congressman Rouser's office. I'll take credit until somebody up right there.
Yeah, I mentioned to you that too, that maybe we ought to call and see if I get it. None of them are lit, or at least none of the green ones are lit. I know that some of the red ones have red lights blinking on some of those. Yeah, if we could get, because they get these solar lights on, which I do on all the, I mean, I know where they are, it's no problem, but at night when you're out there, unless you're spotting, they know where they are, you can run it in one pretty easy. It's a lot easier running that than running those poles. You can run over one of those and be all right.
Yeah.
You can't run over one of those poles. Yeah.
Anything else related to TI Coastal? I have one other thing is that, of course, the commissioners approved the budget for this year. And so the TI Coastal is going to update their 30-year beach management plan related to that and get that submitted. So we'd like to see where they are with that. If you're interested in how these 30-year beach management plans are submitted to the Coastal Resources Commission, they had two that were submitted in their April meeting, one for Carolina Beach and the other one was for Ocean Isle Beach. And if you look at the minutes from that meeting, you drill down on that particular item and click on either Carolina Beach or Ocean Isle Beach, you can see there, first it starts out with a letter from the town manager submitting the 30-year plan. The 30-year plan is in there, and then they have comments from the Coastal Resources Commission, and finally the approval from the Coastal Resources Commission. So you can see what they think is important in those plans and what they didn't. So there's one out there from the agenda in the last meeting. That's all I have for TI Coastal. Speaking on your behalf, anybody else have anything to add in that area? Okay. The next item is update on the BIS fund, Connie.
Okay. So we, start with the revenues. And the revenues are, did pretty good. We are still expecting some more money from the accommodations tax. Keep in mind your accommodations tax revenue that's shown here on your June sheet is your May revenue for your accommodations tax. So we will still have another month, that will be put in after we're audited. It's not on your June sheet that you see. So this amount of revenue is from, for the accommodations tax is for May. But we collected 658,678. So we have a remainder of 61,321, and then a remainder of 30,000 in our top floor accommodation tax. I feel that we're going to meet that, and we're not going to be in the minus on that for sure. We have not received any money from BIS, which is 383,148. I had contact with Amanda yesterday. It is still in the queue. She cannot tell me when the check will actually be cut, but it will, and she's hoping sometime in the very near future. So we just have to be patient, I guess. I'm very glad to report this year an interest earned, along with all the other good interest that the town has earned. We earned in the BIS fund $143,541.
This is in the last fiscal year.
Yes, sir. We had, budgeted only 10,000. But as I had reported to you before, we've got some things in theaters and some things in cash management that we are investing the money, just like we are the rest of the town's money. So I am very glad for the town that we were able to accomplish that.
Is that through?
That is from June through June.
That's
Yes, sir.
full up to date.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's not any back month. That interest is through June. It certainly is. Yes, sir. So our ad valorem taxes, we budgeted 502, and we've already, we've collected $512,060. So that's pretty much your tax revenue there. I'm glad to report, not just for BIS, but for the town of Topsail Beach, the real estate taxes that were owed. The balance for 2024 for real estate was $4,000, and we're in the process of collecting that. And we have about $2 million that we do collect. So I'm very proud of that for the town, that we've got that money. And
I
we
would
will
want to
get
be
more.
that guy.
Sir.
I would want to be that guy that owed that $4,000.
Third of a percent or something like that.
But we are very proud of the town, and as a team, is very proud of our class, our tax collection. And our auditor always praises us, so that makes us all feel good as a team. Okay, so that's our revenues. Then we'll move over to the expenses, and everything is pretty much like it should be. There was some overage in the things that was, there was one thing that, like in the salary related, there was 1,411 in the overage. The professional services and audit went budgeted amount. We had 580, and we spent more than that by 76,982. Now, part of that was for Chris when TI Coastal, when they did some additional things that we had to do, like through the court system and the things that went along. We also had to pay for, I think it was $160 there, 160,000 maybe, that we did for advertisement for back during the beach project. We did a $3,000 came out of that for the audit, as we talked about before. That comes out of this account. Then your legal expenses, there was something that Mr. Coggins did for the BIS, and so we went just a little bit over that by 249. Let's see, you see there, maintenance and repair equipment, and that's in the minus $933. That's because we're doing the beach equipment, the UTVs and the jet skis and things like that was coming out of that last year. That's not this year, but that was the beginning of last year in July where we were doing that. So that's the reason you see that. Our maintenance repair structures, we still have a little bit of money left in there. You're gonna see $7,000 worth of rental property. That was the south end property that you purchased, the town has purchased. And we were paying, rent to those 5 families. So we have $7,000 left in that account, I mean, as far as expense, because we did buy that property. So you won't see the rental property on there next year, which you've already seen your new budget, so that will go away. And the park and south end expense, that's not the total, but, that's just, it is basically a small portion. Let's see, I believe that's really about it on that. We have received, jumping all around, I apologize, we have received $180,000 from Pender County. We received that the first week of July. We requested it one day and got it pretty much the next 2 days. They sent the money into the bank. So you've already received your $180,000 for the BIS on that. Going back just a little bit, the parking revenue last year for 23-24, at the end of June, we had collected 97,408. This year, so far, we've collected 102,357. So that is up somewhat. So that brings us, I think, to our unbalanced sheet, which we're at 5,329,808 currently. And of course, we were hoping when we get the 383, and I feel like we're going to get at least 100 more thousand into our revenue from the accommodations tax. You're going to be at approximately, this is approximate, this is not audited figures, 5,812,956. So we're coming close to our 6 million that we were hoping we were going to have. We might not quite make that. We could be around somewhere between $150,000 $200,000, shy of what we were budgeting or hoping, or let's see, I guess you say, projecting. But so that's kind of the overall on the BIS currently.
And I thought it was covered rentals. I think they said that the rentals were down this year.
The rentals did appear to be down with the Pender County accommodations tax. Again, I just kind of pulled the sheet. It looked like in 23-24, we collected 670,000. And I think it was around maybe between 8 and, well, right now, currently, again, this is May, but currently we've got 658,678 in Pender County.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be close, but if you remember, in budgeting, we budgeted less because to be on the safe side, hopefully we're wrong, but we didn't want to overestimate.
I have one question on the 180,000 from Pender.
Yes, sir.
That's not reflected on these sheets. That's something that's
That's
already.
came in July. You're going to see that next month. You'll see where you got the 180 budgeted for Pender County funds. You'll see where it come in, and that's going to clear that out for the year.
Next time we see these numbers.
Any other questions or comments or concerns?
Well, I think, bottom line, Doug was consistent in thanking you for the interest gains that you already made. And the number you just pointed out, $143,000, that's significant. That's really, really good. And I know you got your hands all over it. So thank you.
For sure.
I'm sorry I'm late. I was all the way in Wilmington. I had a couple appointments and I'm sorry I'm late, but I wanted, if I had been here, which I am now, I wanted to kind of start out by congratulating Christina on her new position and telling her that I think she's going to do very well. And I'm very, very pleased that this is her first BIS meeting. Her most important one. No, well, this is more important than what you did last week, right?
Oh, of course. This is the most. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Your new position doesn't leave your role. When you think of the Rocky Mountain,
My text here?
well, both. So you need in your new position to find someone to take those old positions.
Well, in my new position, I'm getting things done because I'd like to tell you that I finally have the deliverables for the Rocky Mount project. Just got them yesterday, so haven't gone through them thoroughly yet. But this has been a long time coming, so I'm very excited to report that. We do still plan on having one more meeting with the stakeholders group so that Jonathan can go through this project and their design and in detail and kind of tell them that, kind of what's going to happen, hopefully. So we do still have that left, but I'll be passing those on. It'll be, I'm happy and excited they're finally here.
Can I ask a question about that?
Mhm.
How does that work? Is he going to meet with just them? Or is the town also going to have maybe some of us or, some other parties involved with that meeting while he's having it or what?
No, well, this is generally just for the stakeholders group, and it's for those that are impacted directly with this project.
So no other townspeople or anything like that?
It's not necessarily an open meeting. I mean, certainly if someone from BIS committee commissioner would like to attend, then.
Well, that's what I was just wondering.
Sure. But this is for them, that he's met with them all along for, 3-4 years now. So this is kind of the final one to say, this is what we've come up with. This is what we think is gonna fix this issue. And then to tag along to that as well, we have also hired Jonathan's firm, Bolton and Mink, to apply on our behalf for a grant to hopefully implement this project. It's a water resources development grant. We submitted that last week and we should know sometime in August if we've been awarded the grant or not. So if we are awarded that grant, it is a matching grant. The town will have to match 33% of the construction cost. Some of that matching could be what we paid Bolton and Mink on this project since January. So that's a plus on that side.
Is there a number on the grant, amount of money that we're asking for?
We're asking for, I think it's $333,000 or 66%. So they're estimating this project to be about $500,000. So I'll let you know, keep you updated on that. Hopefully we do get the grant so that all this work can come to fruition.
So the town portion would be about $160,000.
Have we budgeted for that?
If I recall, that grant has a cap of amount on it, right? Is that right?
333,000.
That's the maximum we can get. So if the project is bigger, it won't keep going up and up and up.
Thank you.
We would have to do a budget amendment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Any other questions about that?
We have all the drawings and everything about what they're gonna.
They have drawings that would be, I think, eligible to be used for permitting. So again, I just received them yesterday, so I haven't really been through them thoroughly, but I expect to do that tomorrow.
The previous drawing before Mr. Malthus added his bulkhead was a earthen mound. That was all correct.
A land wall.
Oh,
Yeah, don't you remember?
I can't even remember.
Well, they were all looking.
Well, I remember.
So it would be interesting to see whether that now is turned into a bulkhead or whether it's the next item, of course, is the favorite B word.
Well, I am very happy to report that I just signed the contract this morning and sent that to them right before we started this meeting. So we now have a signed contract with Michael Baker International. They will be the contractor for the project. Of course, that was all done through an RFQ process. And so I'm really gonna be waiting on them now to kind of say, all right, when are they gonna get started? What's their time frame? What's their plan? So, we did have a preliminary meeting with them and they were pretty much ready to roll once we got all the contracts in place. So took us a little while, you know, there's 3 parties that needed to kind of review that. Just for the legal side, I will say though, that only Topsail Beach is the signed party on the contract itself. You know, we are the fiscal agent of this project.
You know, how many people have signed, access?
I do, and, there was very few sent in by North Topsail at this point. But Topsail Beach has about 70 people and Surf City has about 80 people. So part of the project is going to be for those who have already been identified on that windshield survey. Part of the project for the contractors is going to be getting those waivers from those specific properties already identified. We certainly know that there are more properties out there that have VITEC, more than not what's identified on the survey. But our priority, our focus for this particular project and for this contractor is to start with those properties already identified. We have more waivers signed. You know, we've had people that have signed waivers that aren't going to be treated maybe this first time, this initial phase. But we want to get all of the waivers on file anyway, so that when we're able to, you know, if we're able to, we can just streamline right into that.
If the contractor is ready to go, I think the last time I heard it was gonna be a combination of the scrape, paint, and also spray.
Actually, they did say they weren't going to be spraying, because of the winds and all of that. In our preliminary meeting that we had, that's what they discussed right now, that they would just be scraping and painting. And, we've also purchased some signage that is going to be temporary signage that they can kind of move with them. So as they're treating properties, there's going to be some signage out there letting people know what's taking place. There'll be a QR code on it that will take them back to the page if they're interested in it. So that way, hopefully they can get their work done and kind of be left alone from too many inquiries.
There's a page that they're gonna take them to TISBC page.
Yes,
Okay.
of the VITEC section of that. Yeah, it's the website.
Good progress on 2 major fronts.
Exactly. Boom, boom.
Very excited.
All right, and any other questions on that? The next agenda item is Topsail Island Shoreline Protection Commission update. Really, we had our last meeting back in May. The next meeting is not until August the 21st. Along the lines of TISBC, political lines, is nothing has really taken place on the state level. Legislature is in recess all of July and maybe August as well. The one piece of contentious legislation that came up in June was the one about expanding flounder and red snapper seasons and tying into that a ban on shrimp trawling. They got a lot of kickbacks, so I think they've tabled that issue for now. And so the companion bill that would have paid the commercial shrimpers for 3 years not to harvest, that we tabled as well. I did talk to David Farrell, who represents Maynard Nixon, and TISBC has granted them a 1-year extension on their letter of agreement, so they will be our representatives for next year as well. On the federal level, it's representatives by Congressman McIntyre, Ward, and Smith. So those 2 will continue on in terms of representation. Going back to state legislature, they recessed without having a budget for next year. So they relied back on the current budget. They hope to get back together on the budget in September. So in advance. That's really all there is to report, except that that next meeting is August 21st. The next Coastal Resources Commission meeting is going to be August 27th and 28th in Newburgh. Okay. Kind of brings us to the end of the agenda, and this is a record for us.
Look at that.
Gee, if I'd have been any later, I would have missed the whole meeting.
Well, Joe, since you were catching red rum at 5 o'clock this morning, I'm probably ready for this. Are there any comments? Any questions?
I'd like to see those drawings. For I want to see what they're gonna try and do stuff that will work. I don't know how you can do it.
We're not gonna be able to completely, they're gonna still mitigate it.
But you gotta look down to their neighbor's yards.
Yeah, I'll do that.
We'll say that, thank you again, Connie, for your report. The $143,000. And Christina, congratulations. I see successes coming out of it. So without any other further discussion, do we have a motion to adjourn? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Rex, and our meeting, the guy shorter too.